don't know a better place. But you know it's better, is brighter, and you know.
Looks like we have a few more folks that are checking in, so we're going to go ahead and let them check in. You guys are too quiet. Go ahead and chat.
In my house, outside of me, inside of me. You was a doctor, and you said to me, you know it's brighter. You know what you know is better, is brighter. She looks like the moon. She says it's her eye. She sees everything. She sees. She looks like the dead. She says it's the light. Something in the way. She says good night. She looks like so close and so far.
Anywhere you want.
She says
Henrik says
everything.
step it right there.
She doesn't need to ask. And I can call you a friend. I can be.
So, as long as we don't move the mic around too much. I'm all glittery now. Thanks. Do we have all of our? Hello and welcome to our celebration honoring Fall 2025 graduates. UAA recognizes and values the diversity of our unique location on the ancestral homelands of the Dena'ina, Ahtna, Alutiiq-Sugpiaq, and Ayak Dahayaga peoples. I am Dr. Jenny Brock, the Associate Dean of Academics here at the College of Engineering, and I am honored to serve as your MC this afternoon. First, we will hear from Provost Denise Runge, followed by the College of Engineering Dean, Kenrick Mock. Afterwards, your department chairs will read the names of graduates in their departments. Graduates, when your department chair calls your name, please come up to the front and stand just to the right of the screen. We're going to be taking a lot of pictures. In addition, we will recognize our grads who are eligible to receive their NCEES honor cords as the result of passing the FE or FS exam in preparation for licensure. After the graduates are recognized, Dr. Masume Hidari will announce the Capstone Design Competition Awards. Please refer to the program you were given for a complete list of all graduates. For those watching the live stream, a link to the program is at the top of the event page. Then, those of you participating will recite the oath of the Order of the Engineer and/or the Pledge of the Computing Professional, followed by the student speakers and the alumni speaker. Finally, after closing remarks, we will take our traditional class photo on the stairs. Now, I'd like to introduce Provost Denise Runge.
Good afternoon. It is great to be with you. I want to begin by offering a hearty congratulations to the graduates of UAA's College of Engineering. Our College of Engineering programs across all disciplines, across all the specialty areas are really rigorous. They take a lot of work, intensive study, a lot of time, a lot of study groups, a lot, right? As the mother of an engineer, I get it. It's a lot. Our entire UAA community applauds your achievement. Let's applaud. So you, as engineers, computer scientists, geomatics, and project management professionals will play a vital role in maintaining and advancing Alaska's critical infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, energy systems, communications networks, and so much more. These are the foundations that keep our communities connected and help keep our economy strong. So Alaska is depending on you to be the workforce that drives innovation and opportunity and helps build the kind of communities where we can all thrive together. These are not abstract responsibilities, they're real. It's a big job, and they're needed now more than ever. And I know that you're ready to meet them. So on Sunday, these amazing engineering students will join hundreds, about 700 total, students graduating from UAA. It's a milestone that I know you will remember, and it's worthy of celebrating. So I hope you will enjoy this time with your classmates, your colleagues, your families. Let me conclude, nice and short, by once again celebrating you and your achievement. I'm truly excited for the potential you possess and for the bright future that you will help create for all of Alaska. Congratulations, graduates. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Runge. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the College of Engineering Dean, Dr. Kenrick Mock.
All right. I'm honored you're joining us for this celebration of graduates here at the college. And usually I like to tell a little story. So I know a lot of you are graduating and have employment lined up already. And so I think that's awesome. If you don't, you're not alone. I was in the same boat. And so when I finished, so I got my degree from UC Davis in an electrical and computer science kind of hybrid program. And in my last quarter, we're on the quarter system, I applied to one company for a job, and that was IBM. And I know IBM today is not quite as hip as maybe it was back in 1990, but in 1990 it was one of the big dogs, and like they had this black team, so they're kind of the infamous black team. So there was a group of testers that wore all black to get into the mode, and they would terrorize other developers, finding bugs and problems in their code, supposedly bring them to tears mercilessly. Might be borderline inappropriate today, but anyway, so IBM was like, yeah, I'm gonna go work for IBM. And it sounds a little foolish to have only applied to one place, but I was getting recruited from IBM. They were sending me emails. They were calling me saying, hey, you know, we'd love you to join the company. So I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And all I had to do was just go through the interview process. So back then, recruiters came to campus and, you know, and did all their interviews and then, you know, went to the next campus. And so when my interview came up, I knew that IBM was one of the few companies that asked technical questions. That's much more common today. So I knew they were going to ask some tech questions. So they started the interview and they were kind of basic things like, what was your most difficult project and things like that. And then they asked a question. So they're looking at my resume and they're picking stuff out. And that's the question. They gave me a series RLC circuit, so a circuit with a resistor, an inductor, and a capacitor. And they asked me to find the resonant frequency. And so for those of you that have taken the circuits class, you probably know this is an easy question. This is like you just plug the number. It's a plug and chug question. You just plug the numbers in, you're done. And so I look at it and I recognize it and I'm think for a second, and then there's nothing. My mind has gone blank. And so then I start to panic a little bit and I try to calm down. I know how to solve these, and there's still nothing. And so I'm sitting there thinking for a while, and then I'm starting to get more flustered and thinking, maybe I should have applied to more places. And I must have been sitting there for quite a while saying nothing, but just holding my pencil. And the interviewer even says something about, you took the circuits class, right? And so I'm still thinking, and I can't figure out what to do next. So I just kind of slam my hand down and say, pass. And then the interviewer says something like, this isn't, what's the game show? It's not Wheel. What's the game show you can pass? Family Feud. Thank you. This isn't Family Feud. And so so we go on. I actually do better on the subsequent questions, but the damage is done. I did get my EMAG question right, so I was happy about that. But the damage was done. I didn't get the job offer because I totally flubbed this easy question. So at this point, I had to go to plan B, which since I hadn't interviewed anywhere else and had anything else lined up, plan B was go and live with my parents and figure out what to do next. And so I wasn't super happy to go live with my parents. And it turns out my parents weren't super happy for me to be living with them either. And I ended up getting just finding the next job available. So I found a job at Chevron Chemical doing mostly IT kind of work. And even though there was really no engineering or computer science involved, it actually turned out to be a pretty good job because I got to learn about how these mega corporations work and learn some other skills like video editing, I actually use sometimes today. And so in the end, I ended up going to grad school and things worked out okay. So my little message for my story is things might not go according to plan, but you've always got your education to fall back on, and it's a journey. And so you can expect some of these bumps along the way. Okay, so back to script. This winter, we're pleased to be graduating 45 College of Engineering students. And the demand for all of you, whether computer science, geomatics, project management, you're all critically needed, especially right here in Alaska. And soon you will be joining our esteemed ranks of UAA College of Engineering alumni, a very accomplished group of individuals who are applying their talents here in the state of Alaska and around the world. Our alumni have designed roads and bridges. We always point to this bridge right here. Created and led companies, built robots, self-driving cars, analyzed optical and infrared astronomical data, and one of the noblest professions, taught others about the wonders of engineering from the university level all the way to kindergarten. And like our accomplished alumni, I challenge you to also engage and inspire others to consider that you have the knowledge and skills to affect real change in the world, and that you have the responsibility to uphold the standards of your chosen profession. As a token of our appreciation of your hard work, and to mark the occasion, new graduates joining us here today receive a small gift of a College of Engineering alumni keychain, which if you haven't already, they are on the table in the back. So I am truly pleased to share this moment with you, and I congratulate all of you on your achievements. Dr. Brock.
Thank you, Dr. Mock. I'm pleased to call on our department chairs to read the names of our graduating students. Not all of our graduates are able to be here with us today, but in order to honor all of our graduates' hard work, we will be reading all of their names. The chairs will note students who are graduating with departmental honors. Graduates, again, please come up to the front and stand just to the right of the screen when your department is called, and remain standing for your picture at the end with your department chair. Dr. Hamill, will you please begin with civil engineering?
All right, thank you. There they are. So the civil engineering program actually has a year-long capstone program, and so we are geared up for spring graduations, but we do have a couple of Bachelor of Science students graduating this fall. We have Chelsea Knight with honors and Robert Weber, who's here, I think. Robert? No? Okay. Oh, I forgot to read my thing. I would like to invite all the students from the civil engineering program to the stage when I call your names. And then we have today, this fall, we have 4 Masters of Science in Civil Engineering students, which is a pretty big number for us. So come on up when I call your name. Joshua Borders, Matthew Hegland, George Payne, and Dominic Russo. Now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Masame Hadari for computer science and engineering.
Hello, everyone. Chair Frank Whitmer couldn't make it because his flight had a delay. So I would like to invite all the students from computer science and computer systems engineering programs to the stage. Bachelor of Arts in Computer Science, Nicasio Westland. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Gwendolyn Beecher, Brandon Bamey, Martin Cox III, Ben Crandall, Alex Elmquist, Hunter Fleshhacker, Sue Herr, Konstantin Hens, Jared Killer, RJ Michael, Vlad Mandina, Peyton Rotzer, Mama Sala, Bachelor of Science in Computer Systems Engineering, Tobias Bromersky, Sam Lilly, Nicholas Pfeiffer, James Stuman, Clifton Tervillager. Let's take a moment to congratulate our students. Please give them a round of applause. Now I'll turn it over to Dr. Jens Wang for electrical engineering.
Thank you, Masume. Professor Whitner had told me he was going to be in Fairbanks for a meeting, but he was going to come back early because he didn't trust me to read the names, but apparently he trusts Professor Hidari. So I wanted to say a few words before I introduced our graduates, some wisdom maybe. So late in his life, the great cellist Pablo Casals was asked, why at the age of 93 are you still practicing 5 to 6 hours a day? And he replied, because I think I'm making progress. And as we celebrate your achievements today, I invite each of you, not just the EE graduates, but all of your graduates here to carry that same spirit forward and to see your time here not as a finish line, but as the beginning of a journey. One fueled by curiosity, resilience, and determination to keep growing no matter how far you've already come. And, you know, above all, I hope that we as faculty have at least helped to ignite in you a lifelong passion for learning and discovery, and the belief that progress is always possible. So congratulations, all of you. And now I would like to announce our 2025 graduates in electrical engineering. And I have to say, as I look at my list here, I'm a little heartbroken to be losing so many of you. You have been really a great group. I will say that. So let me just begin with the first one. We've been practicing this today. Micah Caseza, with honors. And by the way, I think I'm making progress because we have been practicing. Yeah. Camille David. Darnell Jones, Christopher Sorrow, Nick Pfeiffer, James Stuman, and last but not least, Officer Tyler Sutcliffe, former Officer Tyler Sutcliffe. So let's take a moment to congratulate our students and please give them a round of applause. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Kaisha Wang of Geomatics. Kaisha?
Thank you, Dr. Monk. That was a very inspiring speech. So I like to call all the geomatics graduates coming to the stage when your name is called. So this year we have 2 graduates from Occupational Endorsement Certificate in GIS, Dawn Fisher and Nani Horn. And we have the 1 graduate from the Bachelor of Science in Geomatics, Trevor Gabby, with honors. Well, let's take a moment to grant congratulations to our graduates, and please give him a round of applause. All right, now I'll turn it to Dr. Raghu Sholavasan. Great, I pronounced it well, to mechanical engineering.
Thanks, Keisha. So this is Amy turn now. So I would like to invite all the students from the mechanical engineering program to the stage. First, Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Vanessa Dichat, Carter Penas with honors, Austin Potter, Aaron Reno, Alexander Turtle with honors. Benjamin Weiss. And then we got one MSME student, Galen Baumgartner. So let's take a moment to congratulate our students. Please give them a big round of applause. And for the photo, I would like to call all AME faculties up here for the photo opportunity. So now I'll turn it over to Professor Luan Picard for project management.
Welcome and congratulations to all of our graduates. Delighted to be able to recognize our Masters of Science in Project Management graduates this semester and our graduate certificate in project management. So project management is about making ideas reality, accelerating time to value for the stakeholders that we serve around the world, and taking an idea and creating an outcome from it. So it's what we do, and we're really proud of that, proud of our graduates this semester. So first, I'd like to recognize Crystal Kowalski. Glad that you're here with us today, and please come up to the stage when you're announced. So Crystal Kowalski, thank you. Austin Labor. Carlos San Miguel, Tim Sorensen, and Cody Steves. Congratulations.
All right, Dr. Scott Hamill and Professor David Brock, please join me at the podium to introduce our graduates who have taken and passed the FE and FS exams. Please note, some of our students are still scheduled to take the exam after graduation. After the NCEES honor cords are handed out, Dr. Hidari will announce the winners of the capstone poster competition.
Thank you. The professional engineering and surveying licensure establishes a high standard of integrity, skill, and practice in the profession of engineering and land surveying to safeguard the life, health, property, and welfare of the public. Engineers and surveyors recognize that this is their primary obligation in the performance of their professional duties. In 1912, A.C. Mulford, a professor of civil engineering and land surveying, identified these as professions for people who believe that a professional is measured by their work and not their purse. The safety of buildings, bridges, roads, and technologies used in everyday life, as well as the integrity of property boundaries and access rights, depends on the licensed professional engineers and surveyors who have successfully demonstrated competence through their education, experience, and examination requirements. The Fundamentals of Engineering exam and Fundamentals of Surveying exam, administered by the National Council of Examiners for Engineering and Surveying, or NCEES, are the first step in the process of becoming a licensed professional engineer or professional land surveyor. It is designed for recent graduates and students who are close to finishing an undergraduate engineering degree from an EAC ABET accredited program or an undergraduate surveying degree from an ABET accredited program. Those who successfully pass the Fundamentals of Engineering exam are designated as engineer in training or land surveyor in training. Students who pass the FE or FS before graduation are eligible to receive an NCSS honor cord to wear at their graduation ceremony. And since I passed, I get to.
The following students have earned the designation of EIT. When I call your name, please come to the front and accept your honor cord and stand to the right of the screen. Micah Caseza. Carter Panaz. Alexander Tuttle. And Austin Potter.
For the Capstone Design Competition Awards, we have two types of awards, People's Choice Award and Judges Award. So I'll first start with People's Choice Award. Third place, Blake McCarthy and Jacob Roller. Title, TCT reconfiguration and MPPT consolidation for photovoltaic array optimization under artificial gradient shading conditions. Second place, Micah Cezaza. Design and implementation of a thermocouple-based safety interlock for plasma system with magnetic coils and RF power. First place, Alex Elmquist, Brandon Bamey, Martin Cox. Title, Labyrinth of Minnows. Judges Award. Third place, Alex Elmquist, Brandon Bamey, Martin Cox. Labyrinth of Minnows. Second place, it's written first again, but I think it's second place, Tyler Sutcliffe, patch antenna repair. Oh, first place tie. First place tie, Blake McCarthy and Jacob Roller. TCT reconfiguration and MPPT consolidation for photovoltaic array optimization under artificial gradient shading conditions. Congratulations to all the winners. We have some small prizes for the winners. Come see me after the event is over.
Thank you, chairs, and congratulations, graduates. I commend you for your accomplishments. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Professor Luann Picard, Chair of Project Management, who will conduct the Order of the Engineer Oath. After Professor Picard tells us a little more about its significance, those of you taking the oath will come to the front, to the right of the stage, when called. We also invite anyone else who is a graduate engineer and who is eligible and wants to take the oath to join us. Both the oath and the pledge are on the back of the program and will be displayed on the screen here. They are also on the event page for those watching the live stream.
Thank you. So again, all those folks that are eventually, when I do after the brief introduction, please join us on the stage. And I really like to keep you there afterwards when we're completed too, so we can get a picture of everybody that was involved. So this ceremony represents an opportunity for us to take a pledge and to recall that the professional purpose of engineering involves the pursuit of a learned art in the spirit of public service. By following the acceptance of the obligation, the individual engineer reinforces similar efforts of his or her peers, realizing that in unity there is strength. The obligation is a formal statement of an engineer's responsibilities to the public and to the profession. It is a creed similar to the oath attributed to Hippocrates that is commonly taken by medical graduates and which sets forth an ethical code. The order is symbolized by the acceptance of an obligation and the wearing of a stainless steel ring on the little finger of your working hand. We will now have all of those who are taking the oath, please come forward to the front. All set? Okay. All right, please raise your right hand and recite after me. I am an engineer.
I am an engineer.
In my profession, I take deep pride.
In my profession, I take deep pride.
To it, I owe solemn obligations.
To it, I owe solemn obligations.
As an engineer,
As an engineer,
I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing,
I practice integrity and fair dealing,
tolerance and respect,
tolerance and respect,
and to uphold devotion to the standards
and to uphold devotion to the standards
and the dignity of my profession.
and the dignity of my profession.
Conscious always
Conscious always
that my skill carries with it
that my skill carries with it
the obligation to serve humanity
the obligation to serve humanity
by making the best use of the earth's precious wealth.
by making the best use of the earth's precious wealth.
As an engineer,
As an engineer,
I shall participate in none but honest enterprises.
I shall participate in none but honest enterprises.
When needed,
When needed,
my skill and knowledge
my skill and knowledge
shall be given without reservation for the public good.
shall be given without reservation for the public good.
In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession,
In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession,
I shall give my utmost.
I shall give my utmost.
Congratulations. Turn the program back over to Professor Brock.
Thank you. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kamran Siddiq, Assistant Professor of Computer Science and Engineering, who will conduct the Pledge of the Computing Professional.
Thank you, Dr. Brock. the UAA College of Engineering chapter of the Pledge of the Computing Professional was established in 2019 as the first node in Alaska, embodied with the right and privilege to conduct this rite of passage ceremony. Before we ask the initiates to obligate themselves to the Pledge of the Computing Professional, we pause to consider the history of and motivation for this organization. In 2007, inspired by the example of the Order of the Engineer, individuals at Ohio Northern University and the University of South Florida created similar organizations for graduates of their respective computing programs. After interest in such an organization grew at other institutions, the Pledge of the Computing Professional was developed by an international team of 17 computing professionals. The organization held its first induction ceremonies in May 2011. Through this public rite of passage ceremony, we foster professional pride, moral obligation, and ethical responsibility in all graduates of computing disciplines. The initiates who are present here today will soon take this pledge. After this ceremony, there will be no organizational meetings to attend, nor any dues to pay. However, members of this organization are expected to keep their pledge to uphold and honor their chosen profession. The certificate and lapel pin, a matrix with the word honor encoded in ASCII that each of our initiates receive will serve as visible reminders of this pledge throughout their professional careers. Now, in the presence of your fellow computing professionals, I invite those of you choosing to take the pledge today to please come to the front. Please raise your right hand and recite after me. I am a computing professional.
I am a computing professional.
My work as a computing professional affects people's lives,
My work as a computing professional affects people's lives,
both now and into the future.
both now and into the future.
As a result, I bear moral and ethical responsibilities to society.
As a result, I bear moral and ethical responsibilities to society.
As a computing professional,
As a computing professional,
I pledge to practice my profession
I pledge to practice my profession
with the highest level of integrity and competence.
with the highest level of integrity and competence.
I shall always use my skills for the public good.
I shall always use my skills for the public good.
I shall be honest about my limitations,
I shall be honest about my limitations,
continuously seeking to improve my skills through lifelong learning.
continuously seeking to improve my skills through lifelong learning.
I shall engage only in honorable and upstanding endeavors.
I shall engage only in honorable and outstanding endeavors.
By my actions, I pledge to honor my chosen profession.
By my actions, I pledge to honor my chosen profession.
Congratulations. Please make sure to pick your pin from the back table.
Next, we will hear from our student speakers, followed by our own alumnus and assistant professor, Dr. Skylar Kern. But first, I'd like to invite Dr. Kaisha Wong to introduce Trevor Gaby. Following Trevor, Dr. Scott Hamill will introduce George Payne, followed by Professor Luann Picard, who will introduce Austin Labor. Dr. Wong, will you please begin?
All right, it's me again. I have a lot to say for Trevor. I give him a hard time during the summer for the project, but I think you'd like to hear from him directly, right? So please join me to welcome Trevor Gabby.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Trevor Gaby, and I will be sharing with you a little bit of my journey here at UAA. What a wonderful occasion for all of us to gather and celebrate the accomplishments of those of us who are graduating this weekend. I know many of you here tonight have traveled into Anchorage to be here with your graduate. My family has flown all the way from a tiny town called Winfield, Alabama, to see their 34-year-old son finally graduate with his Bachelor's of Science in Geomatics. I know all of your families are very proud of you and your academic accomplishments. To the families that are here tonight or listening to the ceremony remotely, thank you. Thank you for being our biggest fans. Thank you for pushing us to be better versions of ourselves. Thank you for never giving up on us, even when we felt like giving up on ourselves. The love and support that you all offer us is immeasurable, and we couldn't be at this point without it. Now, to tell you a little bit about myself, my program of study is geomatics. You may be asking yourself, what on earth does that even mean? Geomatics is the integrated science and technology of collecting, managing, analyzing, and visualizing spatial and geographic data using tools such as surveying, GIS, remote sensing, and mapping. From the maps that guide emergency responders to the data that helps us understand climate change, to the precise measurements that shape every road, bridge, and boundary, our field quietly supports nearly every aspect of modern life. Now, oftentimes that leads to many more questions rather than nodding in understanding, and that's okay. Many of us here tonight have adjusted to explaining to our friends and family what field of study we are pursuing, and I'm sure most of us have had to learn along the way just how much our program encompasses. A great example of that was when I learned that I would have to take a computer science class. To say that I was intimidated would be appropriate, and to say how impressed I am that people graduate with degrees in computer science would be selling that program's intensity short. And to think that after passing my first CS class, I thought I could build an entire Android application on my phone with GS functionality. I was quickly and repeatedly humbled. One day I spent 6 hours debugging only to learn that I was pulling information from an empty folder. As I said before, humbling. But that's what college is designed to do. We are supposed to be pushed in ways that our mind hasn't been challenged. Not only do we learn how to achieve specific standards in our field, but we learn how to critically think. Working in any field of study offered by the College of Engineering requires you to be uncomfortable. It requires you to think in abstract ways or to hypothesize solutions to problems yet to be solved. Many people here this evening will have goals to change their community, their state, and even the world. That is the most important lesson that UAA has taught me. I may not know the answer, but I have the tools and the ability to find it. I would be remiss not to acknowledge the faculty in the geomatics department who guided us through this journey. Their commitment to our success goes far beyond the classroom. Whether we were struggling with developing a web app, wrestling with GIS models that refuse to cooperate, or trying to wrap our heads around the complexities of geodetic datums and map projections, they were always there with patience, clarity, and a belief that we could rise to the challenge. The faculty in this department did more than teach us. They mentored us, encouraged us, and helped us see the bigger purpose behind our work. As I conclude my remarks here this evening, I would like to give all of my fellow graduates some parting life wisdom from my late grandfather. My grandfather had a 6th grade education, but was one of the wisest men that I'd ever known. 2 things he would always tell me is, number 1, listen to what is being said and not how it is being said. And number 2, there is nothing you can't achieve if you set your mind to it. Congratulations, class of 2025. I wish you the very best luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Trevor. So many of you are completing your bachelor's degree, which is a fantastic accomplishment. But as you may or may not know, you can keep going to school after, actually. So our next speaker is a graduate, completing his graduate degree in Master's of Science in Civil Engineering. And I will tell you, he's going to tell you a little bit about how he ended up here and his journey as a graduate student. But I will tell you that he is one of the very few students at UAA who wrote and defended a thesis, which is fairly unusual here. So he is a graduate student that did research in the area of water resources. Let me welcome to the stage George Payne.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna try to take you on a little story of my time here the past 2.5 years. So just bear with me and want to laugh, feel free to. So Dr. Hamilton, can y'all hear me okay? It's coming in and out, it's weird. That's okay. Like Dr. Hamilton said, my name is George Payne. I'm a civil engineering master's student from Portland, Tennessee, originally, which is near Nashville. And I lived there my whole life. I got my, oh, thank you.
Yeah, just
Should I just yell? Oh, I'm not gonna yell now, no. So, like I said, I'm from Portland, Tennessee. I got my undergraduate degree from the University of Tennessee at Martin on civil engineering in 2023. And a lot of you might be wondering, especially all you Alaskans out there, how did I get here? And I think myself that a lot of times with it being so dark out right now. At UT Martin, I was on the cross country and track teams running, and my freshman year, spring semester, just happened to be the beginning of the pandemic. And with that, all athletes got an extra year of competition eligibility. And so I hopped in the transfer portal my senior year to actually use that. UAA reached out to me to run, and I was like, hey, why not see what the engineering department's about at the same time? So on my visit, I met running people, but I also met Dr. Ravens and Dr. Hamill, two of the civil professors, and was in a meeting with them. And they were talking about all these different classes like Arctic engineering and ice engineering. And those classes don't exist in Tennessee. There is no need for them at all, no demand. And so if I can get my spot, that my visit, it was in February. One thing that was crazy to me was just snow. And I couldn't believe y'all were actually going to school in the snow. I was hoping that school would be canceled, but why cancel? So after my visit, the idea of doing school in Alaska and competing for Alaska just seemed like an opportunity too good to pass up. I moved up here in August of 2023, and Alaska has continued to surprise me. From the mountains, the sunsets, the concept of moving through life with snow on the ground, the northern lights just being a normal thing, to a moose just casually walking down the street on a Sunday morning stroll. But now to the actual engineering part. I was surprised by the amount of online classes and in-person classes UA offered. Not used to that at all. But in undergrad, it was a lot more broad. Grad school, a lot more specific. I was in classes of topics I've never heard of, or classes that were just a singular chapter in a class I had in undergrad. I was in a class called Frozen Ground Engineering, and it's a lot more interesting than it sounds, believe it or not. But hold on, sorry. If I can find my spot, sorry. Frozen Ground, it's supposed to be a joke. I didn't set it up at all. It's a lot more than just hard dirt, but I totally failed the punchline, so I'm sorry. Another thing, I got to take a couple in-person classes. They're a lot more 3-hour lectures than they were anything else. And I have a hard time telling my friends what it's like to take an evening 3-hour class in the spring semester. When the start of the semester, you are able to see the sunset an hour before class starts. And by the end of the semester, you have a whole other hour of daylight after class is over. No one but y'all up here can relate to that. So aside from classes, I also got to be the fluid mechanics lab TA for the civil section for 2 semesters. Some of y'all I got to have, so hopefully you remember me well and not poorly. But that experience was pretty cool for me because I never had a fluids lab in undergrad. So that was pretty fun to actually learn along with the students themselves. But one of the best things of that experience was that I got to meet other people that weren't graduate students, they're undergrad students. And I got to compare my own undergraduate experience with theirs and being in Alaska and what's that's like. But the downside of being a lab TA is grading the lab reports. That is not fun, but power through because you gotta. But the most rewarding experience of my time here at UAA has been my thesis project. Project has made me very happy that I came up to Alaska to do engineering, and I didn't come up to Alaska to get an MBA because those are 2 very different things. My project was to construct an Arctic wave flume to investigate permafrost coastline erosion. I got to reconfigure the open channel flume that's downstairs in the fluids lab into a wave maker flume. This is like giving my thesis defense. This is 2 examples of waves being made in the flume. Hooray. I got a chance to learn about coastal erosion and conduct tests that help lay the groundwork in further understanding the causes of the erosion and what can be done to try to mitigate that erosion. This project had its fair share of ups and downs. You can also go to the next slide too. That shows an eroding block and a side view of a block that's eroding with waves crashing against. The videos are much cooler than pictures. So this project had its fair share of ups and downs. At the beginning, all we had was a flume. I had to figure out a way to design something to make waves, design something that would hold our permafrost, so frozen soil sample, actually monitor its erosion. For all the mechanicals out there, I had to learn how to use SolidWorks and MATLAB. Never had to do that before. That was rough, but I did eventually make a wave maker model that moved. Did we build that wave maker? No, because it was not practical. But I made it and it moved. Ended up making about 8 different wave maker designs, 8 different frozen soil sample box designs. And that in particular, the whole design process just took forever. It took forever. But that's the thing about it, is that if it was hard, if it was easy, what am I talking about? If it was easy, everybody would do it. The fact that it's hard, that's what makes it worth it. Now, flashback really quick to my visit when I had a meeting with Dr. Ravens and Dr. Hamill. That meeting took an hour and a half. It was a very long meeting. And a friend of mine after the meeting came up to me and said, "Did they just give you the degree? You were in there for forever." Well, the thing is, present day now, they didn't give me the degree. I had to earn it. And y'all had to earn it too. So be proud of your accomplishments because this is actually a pretty cool moment for y'all. But as you're reminiscing of your accomplishments and you're still trying to turn stuff in, maybe, don't forget to celebrate as well this weekend. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, George, and congratulations. I'm delighted to introduce Austin Labor, another of our graduate students graduating this semester. And it was kind of cool to be able to have a graduate student who accomplished a really demanding research thesis track in graduate studies, as well as a student who is a working professional alongside completing their degree program. So I'm delighted to introduce Austin. He's an impressive guy, civil engineering undergrad. And he is a very, very accomplished professional, but equally accomplished member of our community and community service. So without further ado, Austin, I'd love to have you address our graduates.
Engineering is a hopeful profession. It's one of the few careers where we get to plan in terms of 20, 50, 100-year increments. In that, we assume that the communities we serve are going to continue to exist long after we're gone, and that the future will produce engineers who can iterate and build upon the technologies we design today. I don't know who designed my home or how many engineers it took to assemble these glasses, but these innovations in infrastructure impact my life on a daily basis, and they only exist due to past engineers who believed in the future. I spent the first 3 semesters of this program building a school for the village of Napakiak. Less than a year later, Typhoon Halong flooded the town, displaced homes, and relocated families. Seeing the overwhelming response and support from our communities through donations and food and shelter, to me, has been a testament to the resiliency of Alaskan communities and has given me faith in the future of our institutions. That despite the earthquakes and wildfires and windstorms, Alaskans are worth the risk and worth investing in. In a time of great uncertainty and fear, when more intelligent individuals have been pessimistic about the outlook of our country, our state, and our city, I am proud to be part of a body of young people who have decided to invest not only in themselves, but in the successes of their future communities. Engineering is a hopeful profession. As engineers, we get the privilege to learn from the ones who came before and lay the trail for those who will come after. No one understands this concept more than our professors. Anyone who chooses to teach engineering instead of practice engineering has in them a motivation that is not financial. And we students got the opportunity to learn and grow because of that choice. If anyone knows how to invest in the next generation, how to be hopeful for the future, and how to bet on Alaskans, it's them. And I hope that in our future careers, we will create the opportunities to pass that torch on and continue their legacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Trevor, George, and Austin. Now I am honored to introduce alumnus and our own Assistant Professor Skylar Kern, a Bachelor of Mechanical Engineering student with a minor in Electrical Engineering who graduated in 2016, and I taught him thermodynamics. Skylar now teaches in our Mechanical Engineering department. He teaches you thermodynamics. It's like we're academically related.
So thank you. As an alumnus from the College of Engineering here at UAA, and on behalf of the College of Engineering alumni, we congratulate you all, we congratulate all of you and welcome you to the alumni community. You are now part of an outstanding network of UAA graduates in engineering, computing, geomatics, and project management. Professionals who are shaping our communities and neighborhoods in meaningful, positive ways. I encourage you to take your new role as a member of the alumni seriously in a number of different ways by collaborating with other alumni to continue to grow both personally and professionally, providing important connections to our students, staying involved with the college, mentoring future students, giving when able to grow scholarship funds, and staying involved with the College of Engineering, and by taking part in and promoting STEM through outreach opportunities. Please keep in contact with us please keep in contact with us to stay engaged. We are honored to welcome you to our ranks and to celebrate your accomplishments today. We are so proud of all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Engineering, thank you all for joining us at this special celebration today. Before we all break for food, and there are cupcakes, graduates, please gather on the stairs for the class photo. Then we'd like to invite everyone to please stay for cupcakes and refreshments. So congratulations, everybody.